Right now at 5, as election season nears, campaign signs from all parties are being vandalized or stolen.
And we've got a cold start to the day this morning, and then it's going to be warmer than it was yesterday. Mom, look at that forecast, get you out the door. Coming up.
Plus, the Peoria tribe begins construction on a 35,000 square foot greenhouse facility. We take you to the groundbreaking.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's now Wednesday, October the 2nd, and yesterday was a pretty nice day,
It really was,
weather-wise.
yes.
It was a beautiful day, normal temperatures. This morning, could not find my coat.
I know, wasn't it chilly out there?
It was. It's cold out there this morning. Now it's it's one of those crazy things. Though, maybe it's a good thing I didn't find it because you'll absolutely not need it later today. But do be prepared to maybe bundle up a little bit more than what you have been. But also wear shorts and a t-shirt because it'll be hot later. It's a very confusing weather day out there for us in terms of how do you dress for the day. Well, it's going to be a tough one. We'll leave it up to you, but we'll tell you what to expect. First, with a look outside from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh, we've got clear skies. It is cold, and as we've mentioned over the years, the camera can't tell you it's cold unless there's snow on the ground. That's about the only way you know for sure that it's cold outside is if there's snow, and there's not, which is good. We don't need snow right now. Well, honestly, we need precipitation of any kind. If snow's the way we get it, that's fine too. Our camera 7th and range line also looking pretty good this morning. Same for the MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking back to the south. And we'll head over to the KDOT camera at 69 East 520th Avenue just south of Pittsburgh. Also looking pretty good as we get this day underway. Future track is clear of anything. We're not expecting any cloud cover. Winds will not be as gusty today, and we have no rain on the horizon either, unfortunately, but we will warm up as winds begin to shift out of the south. Doesn't feel like it might be warm later today, but it will. 47 in Joplin, 42 over in Pittsburgh. Look at some of these temperatures this morning. We've got 40s just about everywhere. We got some 50s in Neosho, Monette, Cassville, and Bentonville, but otherwise below normal across the board. So kids getting on the bus, it's going to be chilly. 45, sunny skies and a calm wind. Later this afternoon, though, will not be chilly. Still sunny, 80 when the bus brings them home. Southeast breeze at 5 to 10. Highs today heading up into the low 80s, so we're going to be above normal. Should be in the mid 70s out there. We'll have sunny skies, and again, not as breezy today. Temperatures really kick up by Thursday, and the winds will do so as well. We'll have a look at your full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, authorities identify skeletal remains found in Wilson County, Kansas, and arrest a Neodesha man for murder in the case. Authorities arrested Joseph Ferraro on a warrant for first-degree murder. The arrest came yesterday afternoon in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Last Tuesday morning, Neodesha police found skeletal remains in a pasture on Ottawa Road in Wilson County. They called in the sheriff's office and KBI to help investigate. Also Tuesday, the KBI is identifying the victim as Levi Ellis, also of Neodesha. The cause of death was not released, and Ferraro is currently in the Tulsa County Jail awaiting extradition. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, campaign signs are common throughout the 4 states supporting candidates and issues. Now, we told you Monday there have been reports of these signs being vandalized or even stolen in southwest Missouri. It's also a problem in southeast Kansas, and both the Crawford County Democratic and Republican headquarters say they've been dealing with it. According to the Pittsburgh Police Department, targeting attacks on campaign signs is not usually a legal expression of speech.
There may be some discouragement for people reporting damaged or stolen signs. However, it's still property that belongs to somebody, and taking a political sign, while it may seem trivial, it's still misdemeanor theft, and damaging it is also criminal damage. That's property that doesn't belong to you.
The political organizations and the Pittsburgh Police Department recommend keeping campaign signs in view of security or doorbell cameras if possible. This will make it easier to see and identify those vandalizing and stealing signs. A Carthage woman involved in a movement called Don't Mess With Our Kids speaks out about gender reassignment for children. This is in response to Missouri Amendment 3, which would provide the right to reproductive health care without governmental interference. Now, the movement believes children are being indoctrinated in the school system. However, some teachers who have worked in classrooms say that isn't the case.
Many people have opinions, but what we're concerned about is what is God's opinion, because He's the only one that actually has a bigger answer than the rest of us.
But as far as Amendment 3, I am in total support of restoring reproductive rights to life.
The movement is planning a march and pray event next week in Washington, D.C. Missourians will vote on Amendment 3 on November 5th. Well, yesterday, the Peoria tribe in Miami held a groundbreaking for their new 35,000 square foot greenhouse. KOAM's Melissa Alexis takes us there.
Everything will be picked fresh, so it'll have the highest nutrient content possible by the time it makes it out to all the people.
Construction will be underway for the Peoria tribe's new greenhouse this fall. A project that's been in the making for a while.
You know, this feels like something I've been working for, the culmination of my education and my work experience to be able to do this.
The greenhouse will grow lettuce, bell peppers, strawberries, and more. One of the driving forces of the creation of the greenhouse is food sovereignty for the tribe.
This greenhouse will be providing for the child care programs, the elder care programs. We have a food distribution center and network that we're currently building, as well as all of our food enterprises, the restaurants, casino that the tribe owns.
They also plan to tackle the issue of food insecurity in Ottawa County.
Ottawa County, by a lot of USDA government standards, is a food desert to begin with. So to be able to have a high quality food in an area that needs it the most, it just means everything to me.
They're looking forward to the greenhouse providing more job opportunities for the tribal community.
We're hoping to educate community members and train people to work with us and either work for us or find jobs, in and out of the community in the horticulture greenhouse industry.
We're going to have the opportunity to bring apprenticeships in to teach people how to work in greenhouses. We'll be able to have the ability to teach people how to plant and harvest their own food.
One of their goals is to provide the community with locally grown foods. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The Peoria tribe's plan is for the greenhouse to be finished by next spring. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes, coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Royals try to win their first playoff game in 9 years. We'll have those details. Plus, an Italian land artist creates a Kamala Harris portrait on an Italian field. And we have a warmer and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The college golf season continues along yesterday afternoon. For the second time in as many weeks, Missouri Southern men are in action. Just last week, they hosted the MSSU Fall Invite. Yesterday, they wrap up play at the Battle for the Belt in Hot Springs, Arkansas. 15 teams from all across Division II compete over the past 3 days. Henderson State is the host for the event and the champion. The Reddies take first place with a combined total of 10 under par through the 3-day tournament. Missouri Southern finished tied for 11th place at 34 over par. Lions' best round came on day 1, where they shot 6 over. Here's a look at the individual leaderboard. 2 players finished tied for first at 7 under par. Then there's a 3-way tie for third, which includes 2 players from Henderson State. Ben Markman leads the way for the Lions. He finishes a team best 30th place at 5 over. Connor Goins and Blake Heimberger not too far behind at 8 and 9 over respectively. Southern is back at it in St. Joseph next week. Pittsburgh State Athletics unveils the uniforms it will wear for this Saturday's home game against Missouri Western. The Gorillas will wear red jerseys with white helmets and white pants for the first time this season. Pittsburgh State Athletics 2024 Hall of Fame class will be honored at halftime of that contest. The Gorilla football team should be well rested coming into that matchup on Saturday. They had last week off, one of their 2 bye weeks this season. With no game, Pittsburg State remains at the same spot in the top 25 rankings. Gorillas remain as the number 10 team in the country. They're joined by 3 other members of the MIAA. Central Missouri is number 12 in the nation after beating Nebraska Kearney by 1 point on Saturday. Central Oklahoma is undefeated at 4-0. The Broncos are ranked 17th. They're in Joplin this weekend, taking on Missouri Southern. Emporia State, who beat the Gorillas a couple of weeks ago, is number 18. They just lost to Northwest Missouri this past week. Yesterday was the first day of October. Of course, that means playoff baseball. The MLB postseason began yesterday afternoon, and that includes the Royals. Now, they're playing in the best-of-3 wildcard series against the Orioles. Game 1 of the AL wildcard series, Colt Reagan's on the hill for Kansas City. We're going to pick things up in the 4th inning, no score. Reagan's dealing early. First, he gets Anthony Santander swinging. Then the next batter, Ryan Mountcastle, swings and misses. Reagan's with 5 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, still no score. 5th inning, same score. Corbin Burns pitching for the Orioles. MJ Melendez hits a line drive. Ryan Mountcastle makes the catch and touches the bag for the unassisted double play. Burns loves it. We remain scoreless. Bottom of the 5th inning, still no score. Runners on the corners for Baltimore, but Reagan's isn't rattled. First, he strikes out James McCann. Next batter, Gunnar Henderson strikes out swinging. Reagan's throws 6 scoreless innings with 8 strikeouts. Now we go to the top of the 6th. 2 outs. Bobby Witt Jr. hits one in the hole to left field. Michael Garcia comes in to score, and Royals take a 1-0 lead. Bottom of the 9th inning, same score. Runner on first. Lucas Urseg on for the save. He gets Heston Kjerstad to strike out swinging. Royals win Game 1 of the best-of-3, 1-0 the final score. They try to finish off the Orioles tonight in Game 2. Still to come, California signs a law banning 6 chemicals linked to behavioral issues in kids from school lunches. Plus, it's going to start to feel a little more like summer out there. We'll take a look at that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:17 on this Wednesday morning. The future track is going to continue to show the same thing over the next several days, which is going to be nothing, really. We're going to have winds begin shifting out of the south today, and that's what's going to allow us to warm up. But as you can see, no clouds, no precipitation out there whatsoever. We'll have a mild evening, and then as we head into our Thursday, it'll be even warmer, and it will be breezy once again. We discussed this yesterday, still going to pick up. You can see those wind arrows coming up out of the southwest at a good clip by the noon hour, so it won't take long for it to get breezy, and those winds won't ease up again until the late evening hours, similar to what we saw yesterday across the region. As we head into Friday morning, it's the same thing. No clouds, no rain, mild temperatures overnight above normal, and as we head into the afternoon on Friday, it's going to be another above normal day with temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above where they should be for this time of year. So we have the winds again today, not going to be too bad. Southeast winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour, and then early tomorrow morning those gusts pick up from west to east, and they'll be like yesterday again, upwards of 30, maybe 35 miles an hour at times out there, this time of course out of the south-southwest. So again, if you're traveling or if you've got a high-profile vehicle, you need to keep in mind that it's going to be relatively breezy, and again, it won't be until the evening hours before we start to see those winds let up. We're sitting at 47 in Joplin right now. The dew point's way low. Humidity's up, though, and the winds are calm out there this morning with clear skies. Temperatures across the region, again, our lows should be in the low 50s. All of us below normal. Now, down Neosho, Monette, Cassville, Bentonville, where you're sitting at 50, you're only a few degrees off normal, but we've got some locations upwards of 10 to 12 degrees below normal out there, sitting into the 40s. And compared to this time yesterday, take a look at this temperature change. We're upwards of 20 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago at this time. Because you remember, we started yesterday off into the 60s. And this morning, we are not in the 60s, making it feel certainly chilly for sure. All right, sunny skies, chilly to start, but thanks to that south breeze and the warmer, the plentiful sunshine, it's going to warm up quick. So we jump pretty quickly from 9, 10, and ultimately 11, going into the upper 60s by late morning. Sunny skies continue into the afternoon. Again, southeast breeze 5 to 10. Our highs going into the low 80s, and they should be the mid 70s. They should be stopping right about here, and they will not. Heading into the evening, again, low 50s are our average, about 10 degrees warmer than that, which also means tonight will be about 20 degrees warmer than where we are right now as well. We'll eventually fall back into the low 60s out there, and maybe some upper 50s. And over the next few days, yeah, it's pretty much just copy and paste at this point. 91 tomorrow, and then we're going to hang out upper 80s, near low 90s heading into the first half of the weekend. Then we do cool back a little. We're still above normal as we head into the next work week, but temperatures into the upper 70s and some low 80s out there. Our overnight lows, though, are going to start to drop off as we head into the weekend and the next work week, so a little chilly out there, but still above normal highs, and unfortunately still over the next 10 days, no rain chances in sight. That's a check of your forecast. We will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Well, topping Health Watch this morning, a major ruling on abortion that will impact many people living in Georgia. A state judge in Fulton County near Atlanta ruled Monday Georgia can no longer enforce its ban on abortion that took effect in 2022. Now, that law banned the procedure after 6 weeks. Governor Brian Kemp had signed the measure in 2019, but legal challenges kept it from taking effect until 2022. And now a judge has ruled that a woman has the power to control her own body and to reject state interference with her health choices. But the judge also said that power has limits. He said the state must regulate abortions as they were before the new law took effect. That means abortions would be allowed until about 22 weeks of pregnancy. Louisiana's first in the nation law listing the 2 main abortion medications as controlled dangerous substances took effect Tuesday. The medications are mifepristone and misoprostol. Now, beyond abortion, the medicines are used for miscarriage management and, in misoprostol's case, to stop dangerous bleeding after childbirth. Now, some healthcare providers and pharmacists are worried the law may worsen routine care for women in Louisiana. Now, under the law, misoprostol is now required to be stored in a locked box like other controlled substances. Doctors fear that it could delay treatment in emergency situations at hospitals. Now, the director of the New Orleans Health Department says that could add several minutes to the process, and minutes can make a difference. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill that bans 6 chemicals linked to children's behavioral issues from school foods. The law prohibits offering foods or beverages with red dye number 40, yellow dyes 5 and 6, blue dyes 1 and 2, and green dye number 3. The California School Food Safety Act will be enacted on December 31st, 2027. The bill stems from concerns the chemicals harm children's ability to learn. Now, state officials say the dyes have been linked to behavioral difficulties and decreased attention among children. Well, a new report released yesterday finds the number of women dying from breast cancer has dropped substantially over the past 35 years. However, these gains haven't been felt by all women. As Breast Cancer Awareness Month kicks off, Mandy Gaither has a look at the new data and what experts say needs to be done to close the disparity gaps.
It's good news, but also bad. First, a new American Cancer Society report reveals overall breast cancer death rates have plummeted 44% in the past 35 years.
which is really a dramatic decrease. And we think that's, over 500,000 breast cancer deaths have been averted, which is really spectacular.
But researchers also discovered an upward trend in breast cancer incidence, with the steepest increase in women younger than 50, rising by 1% each year between 2012 and 2021, and Asian American and Pacific Islander women of any age increasing in that time by up to 2.7% a year. The report also says that while more white women are diagnosed with breast cancer, more black women die from it, especially young black women.
So if you're a black woman between the ages of 20 and 29, you're really 2 times more likely to die of breast cancer than your white classmate or your white colleague.
Dr. William Dayhut believes screenings and new treatments have led to the overall breast cancer death rate drop, but he says closing the disparity gaps for all women will take more research.
What is driving the cancer risk, whether it's obesity, changes in childbearing habits, or really whether it's a lot of it may be driven to really access to the right kind of care.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In an effort to address ongoing cancer disparities, the American Cancer Society launched a study called Voices of Black Women. It's aimed at researching younger black women in the U.S. who have not been diagnosed with cancer. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a chilly start to the day out there. Another look at your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, community members in McCune, Kansas host a fire safety event for kids.
And you're going to want a jacket out there this morning, but make sure it's something you can put away later because it's going to warm up. Look at that forecast, get you out the doors coming up.
Plus, young visitors to the Joplin Public Library can take a walk through an adventure story.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Tuesday. It's October the 2nd. And yesterday certainly felt like October.
Right.
Hopefully you were able to enjoy yesterday.
This morning kind of feels like October, too.
This morning definitely feels like late October,
Right.
like almost Halloween weather out there. It is pretty darn cool if you're heading out the door.
Right.
You're going to need a light jacket. Well, it depends on your tolerance for cold. I don't have much, so
Neither
a heavy
do
coat
I.
for me, but...
Yeah, I was bundled up
Yeah.
this morning.
But, either way, you want to make sure it's also something you can put away later because you will not need it when you go home unless you leave like an hour after you get in the morning.
Right, yeah.
Wizard of Oz people did that. Remember, they go to work they start to work get up at noon, start to work
Yes,
at
they
1,
did.
take an hour lunch, and 2 they're done. They didn't
That's
even
right.
work. But for those of us who do, let's talk about that forecast for you. Start with a look outside from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Clear skies. It is chilly though. We're going to talk about those temperatures. Looking good from our camera at 7th and Range Line. We have a spider web attached to that, so that's not alien spacecraft, that's a spider web out there blowing around. And MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line looking good, and of course we're looking pretty good and chilly from the KDOT camera, 69 East 520th Avenue, south of Pittsburgh. Our future track into the afternoon, we've got no clouds, we've got no rain unfortunately, but we do have temperatures starting to go back above normal, and we'll have a southeasterly breeze lighter than where it was yesterday out there. 47 in Joplin, 43 in Pittsburgh. So we've been on the chilly side to say the least. And around the region, it is cool. 50, the warm spot now in Bentonville. Everybody else below normal, low, mid, and upper 40s to start the day. So kids getting on the bus, keep them in the car if you can maybe because it's a little cool. 45, sunny skies, and a calm wind. When that bus brings them home though, no jacket needed. 80 degrees, southeast breeze around 5 to 10. Should be in the mid 70s. Nope, not today. We're going to go into the low 80s for most of us and some upper 70s with those sunny skies. Now the heat continues tomorrow and the winds will return as well. Latest on that, just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Well, MoDOT wants to alert drivers in Jasper County of some upcoming road work. From this Sunday at 7 p.m. until Monday morning at 7 a.m., crews will be removing old pavement and laying new surface in the Route 4396 roundabout. Now, drivers should find alternate routes as that area will be closed during those hours. MoDOT says there will be signs and message boards will alert drivers approaching the work zone. The Joplin Area Transportation Study Organization wants to hear the community's thoughts on transportation in the city. From now until October 30th, the JATSO online survey is open for comments from residents and stakeholders to share their thoughts and experiences regarding transportation safety. Now, survey questions will focus on safety perceptions, specific problem areas, and suggestions for improvement. If you're interested, you can just head over to KOAMnewsnow.com, where we've provided a convenient link to the survey. The Joplin Public Library has a brand new story to tell. Visitors to the library can check out the Story Walk display by the East Doors. It's thanks to the Hughes Charitable Trust. Young readers this month can experience Cale Atkinson's story, Explorers of the Wild, an adventure intended to get those little ones moving. The library says the professionally printed pages make a world of difference for the display.
I think just a love of reading. I think, sitting down and reading a book is great, but kids love to move. They learn through playing, and they learn through connecting with, people who care about them through their parents or their caregivers.
The library says the project was made possible thanks to a generous donation from Logan Emily Reed and Mariana Stanley. The Lions are celebrating homecoming week and have invited the community to join them. Yesterday marked day 2 of the week-long celebration, complete with food trucks and a petting zoo.
I like to just do fun events all around the year, and it's just something to bring more student attraction. And we're a big commuter college, so it's something fun for all of our residents, and then the commuters that have a little break between classes, and they can come out to a petting zoo or just a different event we hold throughout the year.
The theme for day 2 was two-stepping. The theme was for this year's homecoming parade is Wild West, which takes place this Saturday at 10 a.m. October is Fire Prevention Safety Month, and yesterday afternoon, kids in McCune, Kansas got a lesson on what to do in emergency situations. Battalion Chief Mike Showmaker talked about what to do when you're sleeping and your fire alarm goes off, and even showed the kids how to crawl through smoke.
The biggest problem we have is, smoke detectors, making sure that they're in every home. A lot of them think that they'll smell the smoke if they're sleeping and be able to get out that way, but it's not the truth.
Now, the chief says it's important for families to have a meetup spot and a plan if there ever is a fire in your home. Each child also received a fire safety book. Well, October has arrived, and that means it's time for all things spooky. From pumpkin patches to thrilling spook houses, the season is always packed with fun in the 4 states. Now, we've put together a list of these, as well as dozens of trunk or treat events perfect for your little monsters. Now, to explore all the details, just scan the QR code on your screen, or you can visit KOAMnewsnow.com/events and get ready for a month full of autumn adventures. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Claudia Sheinbaum was sworn in as Mexico's first female president, taking the oath of office. Plus, Iran launches missiles as the situation in the Middle East worsens. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, the latest from Italian land artist Dario Gambarin is a portrait of Vice President Kamala Harris etched into a field in the Verona countryside. Now, the likeness of the Democratic presidential nominee covers more than 32,000 square yards on this Italian field. Now, he created it with a tractor and a plow and didn't use any tracings on the ground. Gambarin says he chose to portray Harris because of her statements such as, quote, "Optimism is the fuel that drives every fight because the American dream belongs to all of us." Now, the artist has previously produced several land pieces such as portraits of Pope Francis, former U.S. presidents, and of course, he shows his support for the Italian national football team. Well, Mexico inaugurates its first female president. Claudia Sheinbaum took the oath of office yesterday. The 62-year-old faces a country with numerous issues, including a sluggish economy, rising debt, hurricane relief, and more. Now, she won nearly 60% of the vote with thanks to her political mentor, former Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, she vows to continue all of his policies, even those that weakened the country's checks and balances and strengthened the military. Well, alarming new developments from the Middle East as the situation there gets worse. Iran launching a ballistic missile attack against Israel. Rebecca Castor has the latest.
The Israel Defense Forces said Israelis can now leave protected shelters after what was the largest ballistic missile attack in history. The Israeli army says close to 200 missiles were fired at the Jewish state on Tuesday, the country's Iron Dome missile defense system intercepting the weapons in the night sky, while air raid sirens wailed and explosions above Tel Aviv with flashes of light from the intercepting rockets. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said the attack was in retaliation for the killing of Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut last week.
I think this is a start of something more. It's going to be a little bit larger, and I think you have to expect that the Israelis will respond in a very forceful manner.
The barrage of missiles from Iran comes a day after Israeli forces began ground operations in Lebanon. Israeli forces are trying to rid southern Lebanon of Hezbollah, so some 60,000 Israelis can go back to their homes near the border.
We are declassifying a series of IDF operations conducted since the beginning of the war, aimed at dismantling Hezbollah's terrorist infrastructure and capabilities.
Nearly 24 Lebanese border communities have been ordered by Israel to evacuate. The White House says President Biden has directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against Iranian attacks and shoot down any missiles targeting the country.
And that's a look at World Watch. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's coming up now on 5:45 on this Wednesday morning, and it's a bit of a chilly one out there, but it will warm up. In fact, we will be warmer today than where we were yesterday. We'll take a look at the future track. Now, really, there's not a lot to show out there. No clouds, no rain. We need rain. We know that. It's just I don't control the weather. I just tell you what it's going to do. And at this point, it is not going to do much other than start to go back above normal. So yesterday, relatively close to average. Today, a few degrees above that. Some of us upper 70s, others low 80s out there. And of course, with a warmer day and the southerly winds that are going to be working in today, that also means we're going to have a milder overnight. Most of us will be above average tonight. And we'll head into our Thursday. Now, Thursday, see the wind arrows really picking up over here. That's because we're going to see gusty winds return. But this time, they'll be out of the southwest, gusting upwards of 30, possibly 35 miles an hour at times. And it will be considerably warmer with temperatures going anywhere from 10 to potentially 15 degrees above average as we head into Thursday. And the warm weather continues. We go into Friday, we're going to have another very mild start to the day. And we're going to have another very warm day across there. But you see the winds beginning to shift around. It will actually help us a little bit as we head into the weekend, but we'll still be staying above normal out there. So here's a look at the winds. Again, today we're looking at southeast winds at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So nothing too crazy is expected. But then very early tomorrow morning, we start to see those gusts increase, and they'll be coming up out of the southwest. And again, at times they could be upwards of 30 to 35 miles an hour out there. And similar to yesterday, it'll be later in the day that we'll start to see those winds kind of ease up across the area. So if you're traveling tomorrow, just keep that in mind, especially if you've got a high-profile vehicle or something susceptible to the wind. All right, 47 in Joplin right now. Remember, average low is into the low 50s. Winds are calm across the area, and as we look at temperatures out there, look at all of these blue colors. The warmest spot right now is Bentonville at 50. We had some 50s across here, so Cassville, Neosho, Monette were also at 50. Come down a little bit. Otherwise, we're in the low to mid and upper 40s. And then here's the deal. feel. Some of you, like Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, you're about 10 degrees cooler than what the average low should be for this time of year. And all of us upwards of 20 degrees cooler now than we were 24 hours ago. And the wild thing is 24 hours from now will be 20 degrees warmer than where we are right now. Let's talk about the morning. Sunny skies, chilly start, but with the southerly breeze and the sunshine, we warm up quickly. Upper 60s by late morning. We're looking at highs today going again upper 70s and low 80s out there with those sunny skies. Clear skies continue into the evening and overnight, and we'll fall back into the upper 50s and low 60s. And as we look down the road, still, unfortunately, over the next 10 days, no rain expected out there, which is not good news. We're going to be low 90s for our Thursday, upper 80s, low 90s into Saturday. Then we cool back a bit. Overnight lows at or even a little below normal, but our daytime highs still remaining warm, upper 70s to near 80. That's Check Your Forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Well, a four-time Oscar nominee is back with a new film based on an acclaimed memoir. David Daniel talked with her for today's Hollywood Minute.
You can feel a vibration in Orkney, a low rumble. It takes over the whole island and every part of your body. But there is only so much height any wave can sustain before it comes crashing down.
Saoirse Ronan produces and stars in The Outrun, based on Amy Liptrott's memoir. She plays a woman who reluctantly leaves London for her family home in Scotland's Orkney Islands in an attempt to get and stay sober.
It's truly a memoir. It's documenting a point in someone's life, the highs and the lows. And addiction, and her addiction is obviously almost sort of the villain of the piece, but there is such a rich world and life around her, and really the sort of heart of the story is her rediscovering that, is seeing what's been around her this whole time.
My body is a continent. My breath pushes the clouds across the sky, and the waves roll into the shore in time with my beating heart.
The Outrun is in theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, a pair of very lucky ship hunters planned a multi-day mission to search for a shipwreck missing for 130 years. Now, little did they know it would only take a few minutes to find. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at how a Wisconsin shipwreck missing for 130 years was found in 5 minutes by a very lucky pair of ship hunting historians. In 1895, the tugboat John Evanson was lost after colliding with a larger steamer in Wisconsin's Sturgeon Bay Canal. The wreck was widely reported, but search efforts didn't start until the 1980s, and with no success. A local dive club even offered a cash reward for the discovery, but still no luck. Then in September of 2024, maritime historians Brendan Baylod and Bob Jake combined historical records with modern search tech and headed out on a planned 3-day expedition. But a mere 5 minutes after they started scanning, this happened.
I just screamed out, "Boiler, there's a boiler down there." We just couldn't believe it. We actually hadn't even started our search. We were just getting the equipment up and going. I mean, this is crazy.
The pair immediately marked and thoroughly documented the discovery, eventually using more than 2,000 photos to have a full 3D rendering of the site created. The historians, who are members of the Wisconsin Underwater Archaeology Association, now plan to nominate the site to the National Register of Historic Places and hope to make it available for sport divers to visit. In California, another maritime discovery of sorts was this wayward sea lion, not by the sea, but inexplicably by an inland highway. The animal had somehow made its way several miles inland and had become stranded. CHP Santa Cruz officials, along with several other agencies, were able to safely corral and capture the marooned marine mammal, and although they offered no explanation for its odd journey, they say it is now on the way to recovery. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Stick around, we'll be right back. Well, an official winner has been crowned in the battle for the best convenience store chain in the country. Philadelphia-based Wawa took the top spot with the highest marks for customer satisfaction among all U.S. chains. Now, that's according to a survey of nearly 6,000 customers released Tuesday by the American Customer Satisfaction Index. Wawa's cross-state rival Sheetz landed in fourth place, Quick Trip placed second, and Buc-ee's and Murphy USA tied for third place. Well, October is National Seafood Month, and today is National Fried Scallops Day, observed every year on October 2nd. Now, it's an occasion that brings scallop fans together from all around the country. Seafood lovers in the U.S. eat 3 kinds of scallops: sea scallops, bay scallops, and calico scallops, and they can be enjoyed in pasta and in soups too. Now, the trick is to not overcook the scallops. If that happens, they can become tough and rubbery, but cooking just right delivers a melt in your mouth tender texture.
I'm a little disappointed that video did not include any Gordon Ramsay from Hell's Kitchen, because that's anytime I hear scallops, that's exactly what I think of, is him talking about how they're rubbery, like they're overcooked, and he's like throwing stuff. It's a good show. Makes me hungry, though. Now I'm getting hungry. We have no food this morning right now. We'll have some later. And in the meantime, it's going to be chilly. It's cool out there now. Mid-40s to start. Upper 60s by 11 o'clock. Highs today above normal. We'll go into the upper 70s and low 80s. Sunny skies and a southeast breeze about 5 to 10 miles an hour. South winds overnight 5 to 10. Clear skies continue, as do the mild temperatures. Upper 50s and low 60s out there. We're going to be in the low 90s tomorrow for many of us out there. Upper 80s, near 90 Friday, Saturday. We cool back a little bit. We're still above normal in terms of our daytime highs as we head into next week, but our overnight lows are going to drop a bit, maybe even a little below normal out there. Unfortunately, still no rain on the horizon. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with more right after this.